I'm Cav Manning. This is Faust. This is a meat twitcher board, and every week on the Wrestlingus Show, we like to show the hot chick of the week, which we call the meat twitcher of the week. You could do pound meat twitcher on your, Twitter or Echofon as I use. That's what I got crossed up with. Echofon, which is the best Twitter to use. So you want to do that and say who you thought was the hot chick of that week. And then each week we will go to it and go through the show after that. So, as we normally would say, Cav, Faust, Lingus, Meat Twitcher. Okay, Gail Kim, a newcomer, so to speak. This week is a meat twitcher of the week. She looked good after she hasn't been on since we started this, and you can see she got hair implants under the muzzle. Yeah. So let's mark her down. Cap off, and we'll give her one here. So this week on the show, we're going to be discussing Bound for Glory. What happened with Punk? Who's his opponent going to be? A 3-hour Raw again. We're going to have a Tensai watch. We're going to have everything. So you want to stay tuned. All this coming up on the next Wrestlingus Show.
This is Joey Ryan, and although I wouldn't watch this Bush League show as a favor, I'm telling you that you're watching the Wrestlingus Show.
Well, thank you, Joey Ryan, for that lovely introduction. You're watching the Wrestlingus Show. Mind you, it is October the 16th, which means it's our 20th show. We've made it 20 weeks here so far.
Cap off again.
Cap off for Fausty on the Couchy. So, we start this show off with the Tensai watch again, of course. And Tensai is now at 28 weeks.
Still has a job.
And we're adding something else to this now. And this is going to be the Raw 3-hour watch.
Ugh.
And it's going to be, let's see who lasts longer. Tensai or Raw being 3 hours. Because now Raw is at 13 weeks of being 3 hours.
And it's really starting to hit the wall now. I mean,
it's getting a little long.
At first it was cool, and now it's like, all right.
It should be something special. Now there's never going to be anything special ever. A side note, my friend here, he's not tweeting and doing his job because he's on semi-vacation because the Giants are in the playoffs. So now we got to have the it's worse than a wife because the wife is no problem. She doesn't mind. Meanwhile, it's like a girl on her period. He can't be bothered. So
Leave me alone.
I wanted to get you something special.
Oh, yeah?
Because of this Giants thing. So I got you something.
Oh, is there Damien in there? Lucifer, perhaps?
No, Lucifer. Well, it might be. So I figured while you watch your Giants game versus the Cardinals, you could wear one of these and enjoy your Cardinals game. Thank you. So, all right, we'll get to the show now. We got Raw that just happened this week, and of course, as we say, a 3-hour Raw. Not too much went down. A couple notes.
Yeah.
Miz getting destroyed in the face by Kofi's kick, which was pretty interesting to see.
Stiff.
Yeah, that was a brutal, brutal kick.
If this is the NFL, there's no way he's... You know, the NFL is a new system. You got to go through tests to see if he even cleared.
Yeah, but he's going to wrestle on tonight, actually, Tuesday.
For tomorrow's show.
Yeah, and and you know he got a concussion from that shot.
God.
You know, aside from his face being split open. The main thing that happened, and pretty much the only thing that went down, was we got the main event for Hell in a Cell. And which is odd that Cena says, you know what? I back out. Give it to
Meanwhile,
Ryback.
they've been building up the whole thing that Punk's been ducking him, and now Cena's like, I'll step aside.
Yeah, no, never mind that.
Yeah.
And so I guess what that means is his elbow is not ready yet.
Right.
That's what it all comes down to. I was still thinking it was going to be a 3-way, and he's just, practically out of it for a little bit. But nonetheless, we're going to get Ryback. And Punk
is over like a motherfucker. I mean, you hear the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, it still seems too soon
It
to
seems
me, though.
forced.
Way too soon.
Well, I don't think he's that over.
I don't know.
I hear the crowd, but it's almost at the same time they're doing that Goldberg chant when they want to bust his balls. So, I don't know. And I've talked to people on Twitter, and they've told me They said, you watch, guarantee you Ryback wins this title.
No way.
I say, there is no
way.
chance. I said, it would ruin so much.
Yeah.
It would ruin The Rock and him fighting at Royal Rumble.
Punk's whole streak. Gotta keep it going.
And their answer to me was, but Vince is a douche, so he will have Ryback win. I said, I have faith that Vince will not do this, and he will actually save this. Because if Ryback does win it, he's likely to lose it the next month, if not the next night.
Yeah.
And so then they can have Rock and Punk, but it still wouldn't be as good as I held the belt for 1 year, and now, so...
Leave it on him.
Yeah, so it'll be over a year by the time he gets to him, and it'll be meaningful, at least. That's your WWE report of the week. You'll want to stay tuned for the TNA Impact report of the week, because I have a lot to say about it. Now, here is going to be your TNA report for the week.
Impact? Bound for Glory?
All of the above. And we're not having news this week because I have a lot to say about nonsense.
All right.
And
you got a lot of notes.
I have a lot of notes. You can't even see it because of the glare. There you go, maybe a little bit. So I'm going to scroll down, my friend.
All right.
And enjoy yourself. Comment as you will. The third match of the night.
Right.
Might as well be Curtain Jerk City. Third match is Bobby Roode and James Storm.
The match that a couple months ago when we were starting the show, we thought was going to be the main event of this pay-per-view.
And it was, I think it was the best match of the night anyway. It should
have been the pay-per-view. The main event. Imagine how much bigger this would have been if it was for the title and these two guys were going after it.
Yeah, and it made no sense with King Mo even coming out.
What did he do?
He did nothing.
He had one shove, and that was it?
And he wore his gloves.
Yeah. When Mike Tyson came out, did he come out wearing his trunks and his boxing gloves when he was in... Come on.
And, it bothers me, like you had said last week, and I was tweeting about it, that he comes out with all his Gumby Gold, Mr. Gangster, hoo-ha, and he's got half of a freaking crown. It's not even a full crown. It just looks stupid. So, that bothered me. And the Mexican table always is the broken table, and that doesn't bother me. Whatever, who cares? It's
tradition now.
It's tradition, the Mexican table. But is there even... Do you notice that one table is beautiful glass with monitors underneath of it, shining spectacular, and then the Mexican table looks like this table? It had a towel over it, and it was, a particle
racist,
board.
Man. That's racist.
They're racist over there. So then we get to our good friend Joey Ryan versus Al Snow, which you'd have to be retarded to think Joey Ryan would lose this match, because obviously it's for the contract.
Are you talking about Eric the Midget?
Yes, as someone...
Move on. Don't give him any time.
Okay. So, here's another thing. Joey Ryan comes out for his match.
Yes.
He's not signed with this company.
Right.
He has entrance music.
Wow.
Thank you. And the main thing, other than, Matt Morgan finally comes back, a big surprise after... They shouldn't have showed him the other week coming into arenas doing stuff if you were going to make a surprise, so obviously he's back. At least save it for this. It's so stupid to do.
I'd like to see how they're going to play this in where Matt Morgan has anything to do with fucking Al Snow. Were they going to bring up Tough Enough from back in the day, from 10 years ago? Like,
it's going to be this. Anything? They didn't want to sign him right away. Or who the hell cares even? I mean, it's one of those, you don't really care. It would have been cool if he went over to WWE just because he hadn't been there in a long time and see what they do, but who cares? Yeah. My main point of that match was how it started. Is it a smart idea for Al Snow to get on all fours and tell a 70s porn star to come on and get on top of me? I think not. So, now we have the three-way. Yes, good segue from a 70 porn star. Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, World Tag Team Champions of the World, and the Mexican Alliance over there. Chavo and Hernandez. Now, let's see what I have on here. They started off slow, but that match got good at the end. It's always that last boom, boom, boom that gets good. Kazarian, I figured, killed himself on that Hurricanrana. From the inside of the ring to the outside, he completely slid off and landed on his shoulder, and they thought he died. And it's funny because everyone tries to go on with the show, but at the same time, they're trying to get to him as quick as possible to say, "Are you dead?" Yeah. And it's that frog splash by Chavo.
Oh, God.
It's a 2-star frog splash is what they should call it. And then the crowd chants Eddie after he wins the title, which shows he's arrived. Because he dedicated it afterwards. This is for Eddie.
And that's when he gets the pop. Because when they won the match, nobody cared.
Yeah, and
who was sitting at home thinking, God, I hope Chavo and Hernandez win this?
Nobody. I love Hernandez, though.
I
would love to see Hernandez do something else just because he's a monster.
Yeah.
But how long is he milking the Eddie thing? I mean, it's insensitive to say, and all that,
7 years?
because it's been, it's obviously he died, and, it's a terrible thing. We all loved Eddie. I wish he was still around, but how long is it going to be, spoken? And, of course, he said, I heard on an interview, Eddie's buried in Phoenix, so it's there and all that kind of stuff. But it's, now you win a title, and this is for Eddie, It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah. Sooner or later, you got to get over by yourself.
Yes. Yeah, you can't... I know he was upset because Miz was champion and never been in a real fight in his life, and Miz asked him for advice before in the back, saying, how do I show emotion? He said, well, if you've been in a fight, you know how you get... And he's never been, and he's like, what am I doing wrong? All right, another travesty out here is a lot to talk about. Is Tara and Tessmacher.
Oh, fuck.
Tara wins the world title, the Knockouts title, whatever that is.
Fine.
The biggest story they had going was the big reveal. Now, she's on this phone with the boyfriend every 2 minutes.
A-lister.
An A-lister from Hollywood. She's on the phone. She's calling left and right. Oops, I almost called Goosecock by mistake on my phone. But she's calling left and right. Oh, my... This and that. We all know the story and everything like that. The big reveal's coming. You're thinking maybe it's one of the aces and eights because she looks like a biker chick, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like it's going to be something big, something known. And the crowd goes mild. You don't even know who this guy is.
I don't know who he is. I don't watch Big Brother.
No, and they're showing people in the audience from a UK reality show saying, look who we have. It's the goddamn minor leagues when you start doing that shit.
Yeah.
They can't get celebrities for shit.
Apparently Johnny Fairplay was busy. You know what I mean?
And Johnny was tweeting during it, laughing about a lot of this shit.
Oh, man.
So they get excited, and it's bad. This is the highlight of being bad, where they go, remember in the old WrestleManias with even the Royal Rumble, when it was Diesel and Shawn, and who was the guest ring announcers or the guest timekeepers? It was Pam Anderson, it was Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah.
Their timekeeper was a name that you've never heard of, and they say from the Phoenix, Arizona radio station, KK whatever.
A local guy.
It's a girl.
A local girl.
You wouldn't be able to tell if it was a girl or not, believe me. That's why she's on radio.
Yeah.
But it was, look who we have as our announcer. And I was like, and they show her sitting there going to ring the bell, and even when Taryn goes, ring the bell, you never heard a bell. The bell never went off when she did it. So they're excited. Look at our special timekeeper. And I know damn well that Tenay and Taz, they have to toe the company line, obviously, but they have to say inside, what the fuck is this? Why do we have to bullshit everyone? And you have to say, oh, look, I found a cool new cartoon when you don't really mean it. And you have to just pretend you like something when you don't like it because you have to sell it. Oh, look who's here. This fabulous sports babe, or whatever the hell.
Maybe if they have a pay-per-view here, they could get Christina Loren from NBC 11, and she could be on there. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Our local weather person is now the special enforcer. I don't know who's more famous, that radio DJ or King Mo. Oh. So aces and eights versus
big reveal.
Sting and Bully. Now the big reveal. If you will watch this show, and you have watched our show, we said last week Devon was the head honcho, the head muckety-muck, the kingfish. So he was. He comes out
There's no way he's leading this thing still, though.
Well, obviously, it's Bischoff is the guy telling people what to do, but he's the main enforcer because Bischoff ain't getting
So we're supposed to believe when this whole Aces and Ace thing started, that Devon, when he was going around with the TV title and, acting like Hogan, hey, I got your back if you need my back, if you need me, him and Garrett. So, Garrett eventually be revealed as one of them, too.
Garrett's got to be because he's mentoring him. And his father's there, and they'll hug again like Flair and his son did before. And here's another interesting point. When Aces and Eights comes, they're coming in through the crowd with that Joseph Parks. And they got him on the handcuffs, and he stinks, and he shits himself. Yeah, and he's barely got any stubble. He must be part Chinese. He can't grow any facial hair. Yeah. So he gets handcuffed to the barricade, whatever. But the interesting part is they're coming through the crowd because they're not part of the company, right? Which is cool. Okay, yeah, it's true. It should be like that. They have entrance music. They have special biker entrance music. Vroom, vroom. they got in with the company where they said let's make a entrance music, but we're not allowed to walk.
They probably sent over the music like they sent over the video
footage
a few weeks ago.
They made their own on GarageBand on iMac and did that. So another bad part about this is, well, first of all, I commend them for not having Bully just jump Sting and be with them right away. But believe me, it'll happen. He will be with them eventually now. And it was horrible, him trying to be Mr. Good Guy. It's like
Sting makeup on and everything.
Yeah, the Sting makeup and all this stuff. So he doesn't know what's going on. Oh my God, this and that. So eventually, he'll flip like they all did with NWO. But the funny thing is, they build up this Aces and Eights like they are monsters. Yep. No one can stop them. For weeks, they have jumped everyone, one by one, taking people out left and right.
Until
Hogan comes out and tears his shirt off, and they come at him one by one, and he hits him once, dead. The next guy, boom.
Rear back, boom.
So he took about 4 out before he got to the ring, and then, hulked up and
no cells, Devon.
Yes. And so it reminded me of the old He-Man cartoons.
Oh, boy.
Where I believe, and that's what totally popped in my head, because Big Bad Beast Man is with Skeletor, and here comes He-Man, and Skeletor goes, go get him, and Beast Man, I'm gonna kick this guy's ass, fired up. He goes to him. The next scene is He-Man grabs him by the collar, and he pushes out, and he throws him down. And he's like, oh, I'm like, this is the bodyguard. He didn't even punch him, he grabbed him and threw him down. So that's the thing is, Hogan knocking everyone out one by one, and clean middle, they all sell and go off for it. So that's your Aces and Eights right there.
Yeah.
So now they're going to take over the company. So it'll be at least interesting to see what that even means come Thursday with the show.
And one other thing, if you're Devon and your contract runs out, wouldn't you stay signed so you can still have the insider?
Or whatever?
But whatever.
It's going to be more of, you didn't sign me, so now I'm going to, kick some ass or whatever.
We'll see where it goes.
So we finally have the main event of the evening.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want you to get too excited about this main event. Go crazy here and, shoot yourself in the face, maybe. We got Hardy and Austin Aries. They're two good wrestlers, obviously. Obviously, during the match, it's like, we've seen Aries being bad this whole time anyway.
Well, last week on Impact...
Oh, you mean when they cut off the end because their time ran out and their DVR couldn't catch the ending?
Something like that. I was like, when did he turn into a double Punk? Because he was almost doing a Punk routine.
With his respect. I've heard it all over Twitter, too. Everyone yelling about the respect.
I know they were trying to turn him bad real quick,
Quickly.
But still, the crowd was still mixed.
And the crowd was very mixed, and I saw everyone on Twitter was yelling more about, oh, this is very Cena-esque. It was very both, and it's because they're not with the sheep in Orlando, where they don't get a feel for real life and what else is out there, because who knows, wherever else you go in the country, they could boo the piss out of the guy. But it's him and Angle. Hardy and Angle are the best known that wrestle, because obviously Hogan. But he's got to be the guy who carries it. So he got a second chance. How is he going to do this? Is he going to take this and run? Or is this going to be a shit fest?
I don't know. Aries won the title a few months ago. Didn't they shoot down streamers and confetti all over?
Oh, yeah.
Made a big deal about it. So now you have the biggest pay-per-view of the year.
And nothing.
And Hardy wins the title, and it's...
Yeah.
There you go. Thanks for
I was waiting for him to get on his broom and fly away cackling because he was all darked out, dark hair with the white and black makeup, and he looked like Pinhead a little bit, from Hellraiser. And it was, I don't know, it was anticlimactic more than anything else. And they got to move the barriers back.
Oh, yeah.
The barriers are 2 inches from the ring, and Aries is flying out. I'm like, somebody's going to get killed. My final note on the whole TNA deal.
Impact.
is that Kurt Angle tweeted.
Oh, boy.
Which the Lingus Show replied to. Yours truly replied to. And when I see some of these tweets, I get good and pissed off about it because I don't mind you putting something over that is legitimately, hey, listen, it's great.
Yeah.
You can't say anything. When you start to blow smoke up people's asses, and this goes for WWE's as well.
Yeah, they do it too.
Don't insult anyone's intelligence and don't bullshit us. When something is shit, you cannot polish a turd. Mm-hmm. When it's shit, it's shit. So, and we'll say it with the other one too. When things are shitty, they're shitty. So leave things alone. Angle tweets, and in Cole-esque fashion, and I quote, "Could you compare Bound for Glory to WrestleMania? Maybe TNA didn't get as many pay-per-view buys, but watch both shows. TNA stepped it up." 3 exclamation points. You liar.
You can't even compare.
It's not even... When you try to compare something that is so enormous, like WrestleMania, and it's like us having our turkey bowl and saying, hey, this might not be the Super Bowl, but they play just as hard. Fuck off. That bullshit. That is not, and what I tweeted was, if you really feel this way, maybe you need to take WWE up on their rehab offers because you got to be high to think this.
Mm-hmm. It's all the painkillers he's on.
I would say there was 3 good matches. One spectacular with the Storm one.
Right.
The second up there would obviously be the world title match. Because they're both very good. And then third is that 3-way. Mm-hmm. And that picked it up at the end. Mm-hmm. It took a while. And usually the 3-way matches are good because there's always something going. One guy will take a powder. The other ones will keep rolling through. But when this is your WrestleMania...
You gotta have that big-time feel.
Nothing explode. There was no oh my god moment.
Yeah.
And even when WrestleMania has shit the bed with no oh my god moments, you're like, they really shit. Like, a couple years ago, SummerSlam was horrific, and it made me stop buying the pay-per-views. Yeah. I was so pissed off.
Pissed. We were like, fuck this.
Because it's $50, and you're like, okay, on the good ones, you want to watch it on the big screen, and not like we would steal it from the internet by any means, but we would get reports from people.
K-Fizz.
And so we would want to watch this. So I said, okay, let's go in halfers, whatever. Yeah. We watched this pay-per-view, and I think that was the one Daniel Bryan came back.
Yeah.
That was that one. And we said that was the only thing that happened on that show. And we're like, was that worth $50 that we got Daniel Bryan back? And it was a tag match for the main event.
It was the Cena versus the Nexus or
it was all them. And so, like we say, when it's shit, we'll say it's shit, and I don't care who it is. So, don't insult intelligence.
Yeah.
Don't say you're...
Like you said, bring some... You had fucking some Jersey Shore cast. That's even better than, at least people know who they are when they brought in JWoww and that other broad.
Even the minor league is bigger,
At least people know who they are. Nobody knows who this other fucking guy is.
Yeah, I don't know if they just signed him now and said we need to get someone.
Apparently he's training to be a wrestler.
Oh, fuck. That's why they got him in. Fuck. No wonder. Jesus Christ.
But don't build him up like, oh yeah, it's me and Tori and A-Rod, we're going to go hang out.
Yeah.
And Clooney and
Stacy
kick back.
Oh my God! They should really be ashamed with that kind of stuff.
It's the
wrestling. The wrestling ability is fine. Yeah. That's fine.
Oh no, the wrestling is great.
They can wrestle like a mother. Storylines and these stupid shit that they insert like that. There was no need for it. Mm-hmm. You didn't need it.
Yep.
Live on your wrestling. And when you are obviously the second tier of wrestling, it's WWE is a monster. Mm-hmm. They're second. Don't bullshit and say you're not.
Yeah.
Don't start saying we're the best company in the world. You don't leave Orlando unless it's for one pay-per-view. You cannot ever say you're best until you start acting like it and conducting yourself in that way. So don't bullshit anyone. That's it.
Yeah.
Be happy with being number 2 and strive for number 1, of course.
Yeah.
But until you're at that level, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Did ECW ever claim they were the greatest promotion? But they were, they would
say we have the best. They would say also that we have the best wrestling.
Yes.
And they would push we have wrestling.
And they would do
not
the
bullshit
differently. We don't have the shine. I remember Joe saying we don't have the shiny blue mats here. It's like,
and they would point out. Yeah. They would point out the things that look. We don't have money for the big sets. They could do that. It's like when we come on and we say, our show is horrific, and we have, as you see in our promos with Joey Ryan and Gangrel saying, this show sucks and is awful. We obviously don't have budgets for shit. You saw what happened when the cat knocked over the table. I had 2 boxes under here holding up a piece of plywood. Yeah. So don't fake it and bullshit. Embrace the shitty parts of the show. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of things you could strive and push that are great on the show, but embrace some of the garbage and even make a joke of it and be like, when things are horrible, go, oh, this is fucking awful. This is. I'm sorry to the people who bought this. Yeah. Something funny. At least you make a joke of it and not insult us. Like Cole
when he was doing play-by-play on NXT.
Yeah, and saying, who the hell is watching that? That's what you got to do, I think, for the most part. Make fun of yourself. Don't be so serious and say this is the greatest thing ever. Not until the Lingus Show comes in there and tries to do something.
You know, today's show...
We could bring an extra 250 watchers to Spike TV, and if we have
400
the cat,
on a good week,
and if we have the cat and Tito, you can get an extra 450 to watch this show. So that also brings me to get this show up to 1,000 views.
Seriously,
this guy will get his head shaved.
I don't want to shave my head.
And the cat and Tito are gonna be naked, rubbing their titties with oil and looking at the camera like this. Oh my God. And believe me, there's dissension in the ranks over here, folks. There is a mutiny on our hands. So get this show up to 1,000. And that's your TNA report.
Impact.
It's time for the plugs now. Short plugs. You want to follow at May Olsen. She sponsors our Meat Twitcher board. And check out her stuff on Twitter. She's always doing small titties, fuck yeah. Pounds, small titties, fuck yeah. And... great pictures of her with her titties out and everything like that. You can't get any better than that. You also want to follow at Not Dave Meltzer, and usually we have news
he was
featuring.
On fire last night too.
Yeah, I saw it. Featuring his tweets is our newscast, but on pay-per-view days we're gonna leave it alone and not do news because, as you see, I could go crazy on these pay-per-views.
What about the jerks?
We got at Curtain Jerks. You want to follow them? They have a wonderful podcast, and they put us over clean middle last time on Twitter saying how great our internet show is. See, they're the best on podcasts. We're the best on fake TV. Yes. YouTube. See how I did that, TNA? I insulted our show and said how horrible it is and that we're on, YouTube. So take note. And also, we want to pimp out our pimp, a guy who tweets us out to all the celebrities and tries to get us to watch it. And in fact, got Brodus Clay to comment to us after he saw our last show with our trick-or-treating special. You might want to check that out if you hadn't seen it yet. And also Tensai, which I'm now behind the Tensai watch. I want to watch him continue to stay.
I want to see him last longer than the 3-hour run.
Yes, let's go Tensai. So we want to do that. And you want to follow our pimp at MXFO Rob. You'll want to see that. So also, in the next coming weeks, we will be debuting a new gut check guy. Ooh. And there will be more news on why we will be getting a new gut check guy. Believe me, you will want to hear my opinion at least. I don't know about you. I know you don't like to say much.
My name's Paul, and this is between y'all.
So I will be mentioning a couple things about gut check, maybe next week even. So that's it for the show this week.
We may not be no Conan and Andy, but I think we did our good show.
I think this show rules.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah! See you next week.